everybody! Oh, it's just starting to get annoying, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why you had to start like that.
Yeah, I know. Oh, welcome back, everyone, to the Unfunded podcast, episode 26. 26?
Yeah, I know. Wow.
We're actually creeping
We've
up
done
now.
6 in a row.
I know.
Every week.
I know. Gee, that's a big achievement, even
That
when
is-
Sarah was
I know.
here producing.
Yeah.
We were struggling to string together 6 in a
Yeah.
row. There is a couple of headaches in the podcast studio this morning, so we might actually have to keep it down. Assuming that's why you didn't like me yelling just then.
Yeah.
You had a
I had a big weekend.
You had a big weekend.
Yeah.
How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling good now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm 100%. Yeah, it was big. No, we don't need the text messages.
I've got some because
No,
I mean
we're not sharing them.
I messaged you because again we'll get into this a bit later, but we had some pretty big news on the weekend. Some pretty exciting things happened. Our podcast account, gained quite
a little bit of traction.
a bit of traction, and I was very excited. I was texting Lleyton, and I was like, "This is really cool!" Like sending him some screenshots and whatnot.
And I said, I'm at a wedding. I'm very pissed.
I'll tell you exactly what you said.
No, we don't need to hear
You
it.
said, "Bro, I'm so fucked. I've had so much to drink." All of a sudden, you're telling me.
And that's it. That's all we need to hear.
You told me to tell Stella that I love her.
Oh, great. Okay, cool.
Just to let you know, Stella's your girlfriend. Stella is your girlfriend, not my girlfriend.
Well, at that time, she was looking after me after my head was over the toilet. So
Oh no! It was a big weekend then.
Well, yeah, I got to. So I had a wedding, and congrats to Em and Zion. They got married, and I feel as if I didn't eat all day.
You
wedding
get carried away.
Yeah,
at
the
weddings.
wedding started, and then food didn't really come out until 6-7 o'clock. By that stage, the bar tab was flowing, and
as
I took
triathletes-
advantage of it.
Triathletes, we don't go out every weekend.
No.
So we're not trained professionals.
And some of these guys
Are trained professionals.
are trained professionals
Yeah.
as 24-year-olds.
Yeah. So for us, we're on the back foot here. We have a couple beers. And it's on.
It was tipsy. Too many GC lagers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was good fun though.
Nah, that's
Until
good.
it wasn't.
I'm happy you had fun. Alrighty, to officially kick off the show, as always, I'm professional triathlete Lockie Jones.
I'm professional triathlete Lleyton.
Fuck yes, you're professional this week.
And we are the Unfunded podcast.
We are the Unfunded podcast, and we would again like to just give a shout out to our sponsors at Official Beer. Like Lleyton said, he had a few too many GC lagers on the weekend. That's becoming a bit of a theme actually with this podcast. I think we've said that nearly every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much. Go support the guys that support us. Go get them at any good bottle shop, like Lleyton likes to say.
Yeah.
I'm just stealing your catchphrases
I
here.
know, because I don't know where they're actually stocked.
Good bottle shops
Good bottle shops.
and our fridges.
Yep.
There's plenty in the basement down here, and plenty in the fridge. Mate, I'm happy you had a good weekend though.
How was yours?
Not as big as yours.
That's
I was
good.
I was a bit more sensible with the beers. I
Okay.
guess I had a friend's birthday, so I was out as well. Had a bit of a celebration weekend, but I was at home by 8 o'clock.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I'm
so
glad.
I was at home. Footy finals again, so watched a couple footy
Mhm.
games. That was that's always exciting. But yeah, I'm just getting ready for this weekend.
But you don't have a team in the grand final.
Yeah, but I'll still go. There's something else to celebrate.
What is there?
There's something else this weekend to celebrate.
Apparently, it's your birthday on the run sheet. Well,
Since you forgot, I thought I'd put it on the run sheet so you could remember it's my birthday this week.
when is it?
It's on Friday.
Oh, okay.
I know. Oh, actually, when this gets released.
Oh, happy birthday for Friday, Lockie.
Thank you very much.
What day are you flying down?
I'm flying to Melbourne on the 25th, so the Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So we're doing it, Thursday to Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very
so
good.
just a little getaway with the girlfriend. I haven't actually been in Australia for my birthday, I think, for almost 3 years now.
Wow.
So this is the first time, I think, since 2021 that I've actually been in Australia for my birthday. It's just so annoying. Like, I think the year before, last year, we were in Cardiff.
Yeah.
You were there for my birthday,
Was I?
or you might have just left.
No, I just left.
Yeah, okay. So I was in Cardiff. Not great, but I mean, I was in the UK for my birthday the year before that. I was in Barcelona, and the year before that, I was in Portugal. So just
Wow,
it's
rough
been terrible.
birthdays.
It's been terrible. But yeah, no, it's good to be home, and yeah, I can't wait to
Celebrating with
actually.
loved ones.
Yeah, just have a nice weekend away.
That's very good.
Yep. Anyway, into the world of triathlon.
Yep.
Since we recorded, I don't know what's going on with the triathlon world at the moment.
It's blowing up. It's actually all happening. Since the podcast's back, they've thought we need some content to talk about.
Yeah, we almost like can't keep up with it. I think because we record on the Tuesday, and then for some reason everything
new
happens
stuff.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it's like, I can't talk about this until next week. This one we don't really want to talk about too much. Okay, I think we want to kind of like this has happened, and
We'll mention
it. It's the Hayden Wilde situation. We had the shoe saga. That was one thing, and then all of a sudden the bottle cage incidents come out now since we last spoken. Again, it is another breaking of the rules.
Yeah, I don't really get the whole bottle cage thing. It's like obviously technicalities in where they can be. I think it's kind of like going back and forth between obviously other podcasts and himself. That's where it's kind of like stemming from.
At this point, I think obviously it's between like Pro Tri News have made very public statements about
what he's doing,
what Hayden Wilde's doing, and I completely understand their side of things, because as the two of us can agree, as athletes ourselves,
you want to keep it fair and equitable.
Fair game. Like, we're professional athletes, we're racing for a living. This is our career. This is everything to us. So there has to be fairness amongst athletes, and I completely understand. I'm also just I'm sort of getting to the point now where it's like, I'm almost sick of talking about it.
Yeah,
I'm just sick of talking about it. And so the race on the weekend, the T100 in Spain, he went and won that.
Yep.
Race shoes were legal. Bike setup was legal.
Yeah.
I'm all supportive of you.
Yeah, 100%. And he was dominant.
I'm all supportive of you then. If you're doing everything right and correct and legal, and it's I'm good for you. Happy for you.
Yep.
But it's when you cross that line of, you're
doing shady stuff,
operating in that grey area. I don't respect that, and
No.
I don't respect that you're able to go and compete and be happy and content to take a win, knowing that you are operating in a grey area.
Yeah.
I don't respect that as an athlete.
No.
Athlete to athlete, I don't respect that. And for age, and this is the one last thing I'll say, unless you want to add any more. A lot of age groupers and a lot of fans, and they jump to Hayden's defense. Ask any professional athlete that's standing on the start line with him, none of them will agree with you.
Yeah.
Not
fair.
a single professional athlete that is standing on the start line with Hayden Wilde will sit there and say, "Oh no, like he's all good."
That's fine.
You're right. He would have won, even if the shoes were legal. Even if none of them will agree with you. Fair is fair. They're operating within
the rules,
and the regulations. So should he.
Yep.
When he does and he wins, all good.
Credit where credit is due, because he absolutely dominated.
Yep. 100%. He's a phenomenal athlete. So just do the right thing and just stop trying to operate in that grey area. Like, you're good. You're a good enough athlete. Just do the right thing and don't tarnish your already very good reputation.
Yeah, 100%. I feel as if he's played into it a bit. I think a bit of media drama. I don't really care about it anymore.
No, I'm just kind of a bit sick of talking about it. It almost feels weird. On the Pro Tri News topic.
That was big.
They love us.
They love us. New biggest fans, Pro Tri News.
It was Hayden Wilde before, but now our biggest fans are Pro Tri News.
We're coming for you. I actually stalked Pro Tri News' Instagram after they followed us, because I didn't follow them. Anyway.
Oh, okay, big dog.
No, like personally, I hadn't looked at it.
Right.
And then I looked at the Triathlon Hour.
Yeah.
Jack Kelly's, and they both have in their bio. I'm sorry, guys. I know you're big fans of our podcast. #1 podcast in triathlon, but they can't be two of them.
Do they?
Yes.
They both have that.
Yes. They both have #1 #1 triathlon podcast.
Well, you know what we have to do now.
I think we do. I think we have to put #1 podcast, triathlon podcast in our bio. There's only one way.
If they've both done it, because I've seen it in Pro Tri News' podcast.
Get up Pro Tri News. I'll get up Jack Kelly's Triathlon Hour, and 100%. I haven't stalked Jack Kelly's Triathlon Hour, but I have obviously #1 podcast in triathlon. That's on Pro Tri News. The Triathlon Hour, the hashtag #1 podcast in triathlon.
I'm going to go onto our account right now. Hashtag #1 podcast in triathlon.
And ours is, by 2 triathletes.
Hey, no, you know what? I like ours better because we're
actually real about it.
We're real about it.
Yeah.
We're raw and honest.
We're number 3 podcast. Nah, we're number 1.
I'm going to put in there #1.
Yeah.
And so I hope I'm going to put a reel about this later on, and then everyone's going to go onto our bio and see that. Yeah, okay. Pro Tri News and Triathlon Hour. You guys got to
sort that out because we are number 1.
Well, or you have to, or I think the only honourable thing we have to do is we race for it.
Ooh.
I think we strap on the boots.
That
and I think
could be electric.
Guys, we have to race for it.
Okay, but then what about Yella and Aaron if they...
No, they're not in it.
They're not allowed.
Because
you guys sit in studio for a podcast.
Realistically, they're probably #1. I don't know. I was dusting up Aaron in the pool this morning, so we'll see about that.
Next in the news, we obviously had a bit of racing.
We did. Did you watch this? T100 Spain?
I watched a little bit of it because it was in an all right time zone.
Yeah, we kind of just crept in.
Yeah. So Hayden dominant.
Yeah.
Yella in second.
A little bit. I was kind of hoping there was going to be a bit more to the line.
Yeah,
between
but Yella
these two.
did crash. He said in his post-race interview he crashed, which is, impressive to still come
It's never
second.
right. Obviously, that is such a... To anybody that has been in a race and, you've crashed before, it is such a momentum killer.
Yeah.
Well, it literally is, obviously, but to then try and pick yourself back up and continue and to run 18 kilometers when you're racing the best guys
in the world.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Especially Hayden Wilde. When Hayden Wilde's there, he's pissed off and he's angry and he wants to show
everyone how good he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But credit to Yella, but I would love to have seen a ding dong battle
I
between
think
those
the
two.
best performance in the men's side of things was Jonas Schomburg off the back of Ironman 6 days before. Ironman World Champs.
Seventh in...
Or
was he 7th?
7th or 8th? No, Nick Thompson was
That's right.
7th.
Yep.
I think he was 8th or 6th.
Yeah, he was either side of Nick.
Yeah.
Either way, top 10 in the world.
Yeah.
It's like you said, 6 days before.
I know.
Impressive.
And he held on to that run, which I thought was really good.
Almost like a bit of a sprint finish.
We didn't pick him that race.
No.
And I think we both thought about him.
Yeah.
But we didn't pick him because we were like, he's got an Ironman in his legs. I think he's just there to, make up the numbers. He's in Europe. We'll race.
Yeah.
But
if he was fresh,
impressive.
I would have thought about it.
Shows how good he is.
Yeah, I still would have thought about him and Sam Dickinson. And I think Sam Dickinson was 5th. So, he still had a great race. And Kyle Smith, you picked him to be 3rd. Probably would have been somewhere around that area.
Got that penalty.
If he didn't have that silly penalty. But yeah, Jonas Schomburg, honestly, I think he's at... For me, in my head, when I look at a Jonas Schomburg, he's similar to a Matt Hauser. Just an anaerobic beast. He's powerful. He's fast. You almost give him an off-season of just very aerobic base level stuff to try and race that longer distances. He's almost just very optimized at the moment. I almost think he's similar to Hauser, and I'm not trying to diss their training philosophies in the past and whatnot, but potentially tapped into the right sort of training routine or training programming now. So put him on a world triathlon circuit right now, and I think he might kill it. Yeah, he's naturally fast and powerful, and he's optimized now. So, he could come back next year and do something.
Could do.
You never know.
Whatever.
You never know.
In the women's, it was pretty much a race of 2.
Yeah,
the whole day.
That was cool to watch them.
Lucy
too.
Charles Barclay and Kate Woff, the 2 Brits. It was an all Brit podium actually.
Yeah.
With Jess Learmonth. And those 2 were too good.
Yeah.
They just swam off the front. Shows how important that swim is.
It is now.
Yeah.
It's like it is, like we said, even in the short course of World Triathlon, it's still the importance of a swim bike is so strong.
I feel
it is so important, sorry.
This year, especially in all women's racing, it's kind of been a swim split. Who are the most dominant swimmers? They're now the quickest runners as well, and the best riders. So it's key to be a good swimmer.
Mm-hmm. And like we said, I think we're going to we'd like to do like a little athlete mention every week. athlete of the week,
Yep.
Jess Learmonth.
Jess Learmonth.
She's going to be our official beer GC Lager athlete of the week. I think coming back from she's a new mother.
Yep.
For those that
I
are
think
unaware.
the last 12 months.
Yeah. So she's a mother. So I think obviously we're not speaking from experience here. I don't know about you, but I've never popped out a kid.
No.
That is a very, very difficult process to come back from in terms of your body changing and the toll of the body and trying to get back to, you were at such a optimized level as an athlete before to then go through a 9-month pregnancy and then, you've
the recovery after
and you're literally raising a newborn child to try to come back to a professional level of racing is so I can only imagine how difficult that would be. And she's not only just returned, she's returned and jumped on a podium.
Yeah, exactly right. I think she said in a post-race interview or pre-race, she was like, "Oh, I've been up all night with the newborn." Like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's cool to hear. And for those who know Jess or don't know Jess, I've done very little with her. She was swimming out of Miami for one of the Gold Coast pre-season camps that the Brits have done, and honestly, one of the most down-to-earth women you will ever meet. She's got almost we were speaking about it with our guest later on in the pod. Has that personality outside of triathlon, is of just funny, that English banter. Takes it seriously, but then outside not too seriously. So just one of the best humans sort of in the sport that you'll meet. So Jess Learmonth, congratulations again. You're probably not listening, but you are our official beer athlete of the week.
Nice. On another little side topic, Alex Yee, he's just announced that he's going to run Valencia Marathon.
I saw that.
So he's doing 2 this year. Has he given triathlon just the wipe? He's gone, you know what? Maybe he's raced how many times this year? Twice, a Super League and a World Series.
I mean, he won Super League and he got 9th in a World Series. So it's, again...
But has he gone mentally, I want something new? Is there maybe, I don't know, more of a, incentive to go run marathons? He ran really well at that London marathon.
Obviously, his goal was to go a sub 210, I believe. Sub 210, and he just missed that. He ran a 211 something. So maybe the Valencia, I mean, I don't know. I know Valencia is... I don't know what the marathon course is like.
It's fast.
That's I'm assuming that because of the Valencia World Cup triathlon, and I know that is flat and fast. Yep. So maybe he's just gone, okay, this is a very optimal circuit for me to go and run a sub 210 potentially. Yep. So maybe this is a year where he's gone, I've just come off a year where I am Olympic champion, I am world champion, I've cleaned up in the sport of triathlon, I've proven I'm the best in the world. I'm going to go give this marathon stuff a crack. Where he might, he's realistically, he's not near the top 1%. He's not near the top runners in the world. Yeah. He's phenomenal. Obviously,
very close,
if you're going for a top sub 2 hour 10, you are an incredible runner.
Yep.
But it's an achievement that I can't think of any
other triathlete
has been able to go run a sub 210 marathon. So it just proves that his running is on another level.
Yeah.
So you never know.
I just hope we don't lose him to marathon running.
Yeah. I don't think so.
We kind of lost Christian short course racing to the Ironman.
I can't see Christian coming back.
No, he never will. I mean, he's done his thing in Ironman. I just don't want to see Alex lose to
too early.
The marathons. Yeah, I feel as if he's still got another Olympics in him.
I think he'll be about
reclaim 3 Olympic medals. Over 3 Olympics.
He'll be. I'm kind of guessing his age here, but he'll be about 32, 31. Alex when he goes to.
Oh, when he goes to...
No, he's not now.
Yeah, I was going to say far
out. No, I'm sorry. I'm saying
still looks like a kid.
In 2028, he will be around 31, 32. So say we're like Matt Hauser, Hayden Wilde, and let's not kid ourselves here. That's not too old.
No.
By any means. We had Vincent Louis trying for the French team, probably the most dominant team in the games, and I think Vince was 34, 35. We had Pierre Lecour, he got 4th, and he's 31, 32. Yeah. So it's by no means are you too old at that age. I would be sad to see
him go.
He's an icon.
I'll be interested to see what he can run at this Valencia Marathon.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll keep our eye on that.
Eyes peeled. When is it?
End of this year.
Okay.
Probably in December, I'm guessing. A quick December.
Yeah, okay. He'll do a little block leading into
Yeah.
that. Well, I mean, you know what that means. You're fucked for the overall World Series.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
You've
isn't
lost
it?
that one, haven't you?
Oh, what a silly pick earlier this year.
That's all right, mate. You've done.
Well.
Trust me, it's not your only silly pick you did this year, so it's all good.
I've picked worse for way high this weekend.
Oh, here we go. Well, before we get into a bit of a way high preview, we're about to announce we've got a pretty special guest today.
Yep.
So we'll get into that conversation now.
Here's Ryan Fisher.
Here he is. Alrighty, guys, time for the big one. We are happy to announce we've got another guest. We're pumped to welcome today Olympian, former Aussie triathlon star, and now the man behind Celia Society, Ryan Fisher. How we going, big fella?
Boys, thanks for having me.
Clap. Thanks for coming on.
How's things been? You training? You said you trained this morning?
Mate, I went for a ride this morning. I wouldn't call it training
Yeah.
anymore. I went out for 90 minutes on the bike just up the valley. I still try and stay fit, but it's there's not as much structure or routine to it. I try and do something every day.
Yeah, no comeback.
No
on the
comeback.
cards later.
No. I go to the gym a bit and go for some jogs and rides here and there, but
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
High Rocks.
No.
High Rocks is incoming, isn't it? That's
I
the
knew
next
this would come up. Nah, it's not for me.
I don't know. For those out there, Fish has made multiple comments to me about how we would take over the High Rocks world in the doubles.
Yeah, they're behind closed doors.
They weren't for the cameras and the
No.
mics. No, mate, it's good to have you. And I mean, Lleyton and I have said, I think similar to Aaron, you're someone that was definitely in the limelight of Australian triathlon, kind of when we were coming up as youth and junior triathletes. So it's funny now how you think back then, and we were all starry eyed looking at you representing Australia at the Olympics, and now we get to have you on the pod. So thank you very much for coming on. You're a legend in sort of
The youngster eyes.
the youngster
golden
eyes,
era.
and back it was the golden
I
era.
was only just looking at like a couple of your results just then, and there was like I just forgot there was like the Brownleys and all that. I know we talked about that with Aaron and all that, but it was like, wow,
The names
that kind
back
of
then.
was back in the day when we were looking at it as young kids. It was like cool. It was cool. I feel as if it isn't like that now for some reason.
Maybe it's
I don't
because
know.
we're a bit closer.
Yeah,
to
we're
them
a bit
and
older,
We're
yeah.
competitive, but I still look at those names that you guys are racing back then, and it's like far out. You're amongst the greats. Like you guys are really amongst the greats of the sport back then. Is that how it felt for you, like as an outsider now?
I mean, I guess it's probably not too dissimilar to what you just said. Like, I think me growing up, I obviously had those people that I saw at the top that were at that time the big names, and then as I started racing, they were sort of, I guess, going into retirement. Like, and that was like the Bevan Doherty, almost Chris Gemmell type of era. But yeah, like there was certainly a lot of big names when I was racing. Like I was never one of them, obviously, but you're racing alongside these guys and seeing the names on the suits, and you get a little bit, I guess, starstruck by it. But I mean, there's evolution to it, right? There's new guys now that without you guys realizing now, even there'd be 14, 15-year-old Aussie triathletes that would know exactly who you guys are.
Oh, that'd be nice. They can tell us.
I don't think so.
By the time you realize that, you're me though, and then you just feel old.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you remember when I was doing this? Oh,
Yeah.
I must be old now. Yeah,
Absolutely.
nice. Oh, mate, we'll take it back to the early days. How did you get into the sport? What was the introduction like? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up down the road in Brizzy.
Oh yeah.
Sort of, I guess, like a lot of Aussie kids grew up just swimming and, school cross country and school soccer, club rugby, a little bit of everything really. There was no definitive, I don't think there was many, and I had this conversation with someone the other day. I feel like there was no one that grew up then definitively thinking I'm a triathlete. It was always you were a swimmer or a runner or something, and then you just kind of transitioned or got introduced to the sport. And I was kind of no different. Yeah, did all of that at school. And then a friend of mine at school, her mum was a triathlon coach. And she kind of offered for me to come along to some training sessions, and did my first try when I was probably like 12 or whatnot. But I hate it. I certainly wasn't like, I love this sport.
From the start.
This is what I'm doing. And it wasn't really until I finished grade 12 that I really only just did triathlon.
Yeah.
Right. Were you a swimmer first?
First off, yeah. And then sort of got into cross country and all of that. But again, it wasn't like I didn't train for it. It's just because
did
I
a bit of
played
swimming.
soccer and rugby
Yeah.
and whatnot that you kind of just did it as a extracurricular activity, I guess.
I
More
sometimes
days
think,
off school.
Yeah.
I sometimes think that's the best way to go about it growing up.
Yeah,
you know?
no pressure on it.
Yeah, like you see some 14, 15-year-olds these days that are like, their parents are drilling the triathlon into them.
$10,000 bikes.
It's a bit too much. I think sometimes you tend to lose the love for the sport because you're so passionate about it so early, and that can tend to fade in the the coming years when it gets
more serious.
Well, now this is serious. You were taking it serious as a 19, 20, 21-year-old when you were 14, 15. So I think that's probably the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree at all. I think it's that level of intensity on something you can only have for so long. So if that starts out at 10 or 12 years of age, like you can have had a full career mentally anyway by the time you're 22.
Burn out. So where did you go from starting it? I guess post school. Where did you go? How did it kind of upwards trajectory?
Yeah, I sort of I think I ran into Dan Atkins somewhere. And I knew one of the guys that he coached, and it kind of all started because I remember he had like an ITU suit that had his surname on the back of it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like,
my name on the suit.
I want one of them. And he was like, oh, that's at the time it was like Jets program, which was like the junior elite triathlon squad.
Wow, that was ages ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty old.
I remember hearing about that.
But he was like, oh, it's, you're in that sort of thing. And I went to these trials for it. And then off the back of that, it was like the Runaway Bay Super Sprint weekend.
Yeah.
And that was like a Youth Olympics year. So that was the trial event for that. So yeah, I got the suit on my name with my name on it, and then went to Runaway Bay, and then I made Youth Olympics that year. And that was with Aaron Royal and Sam Appleton and a couple of those guys. And then, I think off the back of that, I got a QAS scholarship, and it kind of just
snowballed.
Yeah, it kind of
Where
just went
was
from
the
there.
Youth Olympics?
Penrith.
Oh no!
I've seen all the ones like previously. They're on like obviously international Argentina and Canada and Penrith. What a shithole too.
Yeah, we went Western Sydney.
Were you disappointed? Like, I mean, you would have been stoked. There's Youth Olympics, but then like, I could have been over in Europe or
Penrith Regatta.
That's exactly right.
Places.
But I mean, that was a cool experience. Like, Johnny Brownlee was there. And I think that was one of the things where he wasn't known yet, but everyone was like, oh, his brother is Alistair.
Okay.
And that's just the little brother of, and he hadn't really, I guess, come to
what he could
in
be.
his own.
Like, was Christian around then? Did he won a Youth Olympics?
He did, I think he's a couple of years younger than me.
Oh, okay.
He's surprisingly young, even though he looks
he looks like
35.
Yeah.
But
he looks my age.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a cool experience. I mean, I didn't do any well. I think Runaway Bay was my first ever draft legal racing.
Yeah.
And then obviously that's made up of all the super sprint sort of races and the formats. And then the Youth Olympics was the first standalone, like, I guess, ITU style race.
Yeah, right.
That was your first one?
Yeah, and I got absolutely belted. I think I came last or second.
I mean, geez, for that being your first one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a big jump into a serious race early on. Like, I feel like that shows just natural talent to be able to get to that point without being in the, doing the sport for a very long time. So
yeah, I think, it certainly, I guess, ignited something in me, and I guess was my first real experience of high performance triathlon and what it was and everything else. And from there, I kind of, off the back of that, I went into, I guess, training properly with a real sort of, not identity of triathlon, but this is, like you said, this is something I could do, or guess at least see where this goes.
Who did you go train with then? You mentioned Dan.
Yeah, I was with...
Go to Dan?
Yeah, I was with Dan at the time then.
So then we were speaking about this before. I don't remember ever seeing you like with the Gong Wizards or
going over to like a filial.
Yeah, filial with like one of those like big squads. I remember you being with Dan for the sort of last little bit of your career, but you were never real. You were a bit of a solo warrior, like just getting it done yourself with maybe a coach on the side writing programs. Like,
yeah, I mean, like I had Dan through that period, and then I think the next year I went to Junior Worlds. It's so long ago now, but I had Dan for a couple of years, and he was probably the one who then made me fall in love with triathlon. Like, we just had a good group, and his personality, I think really suited what I had, and he still allowed me to be me, I guess.
Yeah,
And at
he's
that
very
time,
good with that.
yeah, and at that time, you know, like all my mates, like none of them did triathlon or anything like that. I still very much so had my own side of things, and then I had triathlon. It wasn't all intertwined. And then Dan actually got a scholarship coaching role with the AAS, and he sort of sat in alongside Sean Stevens, who was the head coach at the time of the Australian Institute of Sport, and we were based at St Lucia in Brisbane. And Sean's obviously the high performance director of Australian Triathlon now.
It's cool seeing how it's done almost a full rotation of where everything sits now again.
Yeah.
You know, however many years. And like we said, like triathlon was probably at its peak in Australia at that time. So
I mean, kind of coming back around slowly, surely.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But yeah, so I went there, and that was a squad that I guess really changed it for me because, you know, Ash Gentle was there, and Josh Amberger and Annabelle Luxford, and he was, you know, and Sean had obviously coached Courtney Atkinson and all sorts of people. So it was a real, I guess it felt quite serious in that sense, but at the same time, Sean and I always got on really well, and he was good for me. And I'd grown up idolising. I wouldn't tell him this now, but I was a big fan of Josh Amberger, so training alongside him, I was, I guess, that kid that sort of looked at him like, you know, that's Josh Amberger, and that really helped me, I think, at the time too.
And I think he's a good person to sort of look to in terms of if you want to have that balance of a personality outside of just triathlon, not making triathlon your personality, but, you know, still being able to have fun alongside the serious nature of training and racing at a professional level. And because, like, if anybody knows Josh, just have a look at his Instagram. Like, he's a bit of a nutcase on the outside. Yeah. So to be able to hold that personality on the, I remember he was a black mechanic for the Queensland team. For like 1 year, we went to Penrith, and so technically staff, and he was running around with the like head clippers trying to shave like the 18-year-old boys like hair, like just still one of the boys basically.
Yeah, Josh is one of one for sure.
Yeah,
and I think that's something too that I've always respected about him so much is like he's got his unique character, but he's never once been persuaded by trends or what anyone else wants or expects. Josh is Josh, and he's never wavered from that. And yeah, he was definitely a person that I sort of, I guess aspired to follow in the footsteps of. So training alongside him really helped.
Yeah, cool. I think especially triathlon can very much be like a boxed environment. Like this is the mold you have to fit.
And you have to be so rigorous in eat, sleep, train, repeat. You can't, have a bit of fun doing whatever or be yourself. It's a bit of a square kind of sport, isn't it?
real clean
bit
cut.
Boring.
Yeah, it's very boring. I feel like Aussies definitely like are the ones that break probably Kiwis as well, that maybe break that mold a little bit. And like we're always the first ones to the after party, or we're also the last ones to leave. Yeah. It's like, we'll do anything. We definitely break that mold a little bit. So
got to have fun on the journey, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Maybe we'll try carry on a Josh Amberger legacy. Carry on what he was doing.
Nice. So what? I guess after, your junior years, what was kind of next? Like, where did you go from there? Anything big that kind of broke out or on your way to the Olympics? Because that's obviously, I don't know. But is that probably one of your peaks of the career, the Olympics?
Yeah, from like a, I guess like a standalone accolade point of view it was. I ended up leaving Sean a couple of years after. He got a job with Team Sky. So he moved to Monaco and started coaching there. So we
it's terrible.
And I sort of started self-coaching then. I didn't really, like you said, like I didn't join the Wizards or anything like that. And and that's where I guess I had not disagreements with Australian Triathlon, but I didn't fit the mold, I guess, of probably what was expected of a categorized athlete, which was to, be under a certain coach and have someone to answer to and whatnot.
Was that like your big issue with Australian Triathlon at the time, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was the only real thing that I had, and looking back, I guess I understand it from they're putting money into you, they want to secure their investment or feel like it's been given its best chance. And I sort of had Courtney Atkinson, who became like a bit of a mentor, because when I was younger and overseas and stuff, I used to be his training partner, I guess, or his whipping boy. And he was another sort of somebody that I really looked up to, and I think that was also because he did a lot of his own sort of thing. Like he wouldn't train after midday because that was family time.
Oh wow!
And thinking back, he was probably only like 30 at the time, so like not that
old.
He's
one of the greatest we've ever had. Like looking back for me and like the greats of the sport, he's probably one of the best in his era at the time. So
and so talented.
Yeah.
Like such a natural athlete. So yeah, and then I sort of, a few bits and pieces, like I sort of jumped in and out. And I think for those that trained with me or anyone that was around me, they sort of, I was a guy that would quit and retire 6 times a season.
Yeah, I do. I think I do remember a few retirement posts.
I'd certainly had a love-hate relationship with triathlon, to be honest, most of my career. And I think a lot of it came down to it wasn't my whole life. So, and you guys know firsthand, it's such a demanding sport that's, it's so intense in terms of, just the number of hours you train, that it does then limit what you can do outside and everything else. And I think at times that sort of pulled me in, I guess, different directions as to what I really wanted out of it. So yeah, there was, I was only thinking about this the other day, like there was probably only a handful of times I would have trained more than 4 months straight without having some form of
yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Sabbatical.
Yeah, like I thinking back, like immature
Man, what you
little
could have
kid.
been.
Like,
Fuck.
no, more just thinking, just the level. I don't know whether it's maturity or what it was, and maybe that's where I did need an environment more so to keep me straight and narrow.
Were the aspirations outside of the sport? Is that why you were having those little glimpses of not wanting to do it? Like, was there other things you wanted to do, or?
I mean, I always wanted to go to cycling when I was younger.
Yeah,
that was something
you were a gun cyclist.
that always, I guess, something that I had a underlying passion for, or something like that. But I did have, some time off, and then I ended up moving down to Melbourne, and I joined Danielle Stefano, which at the time we had a really good squad, and that was kind of, I think, what I needed, because it was a group of guys that, we had Declan Wilson, Joel Tobin White, Marcel Walkington, Matt Baker, a handful of guys, and they were a group too that had a lot of fun outside of just training, and it was a bit of a, not larrikin type squad, but everyone would train well, but it was, there was a bit of something else to it.
Yeah. Kind of like when like the training starts, it's business, and then outside of that, you can be a normal human. Yeah,
we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed that, and that's kind of what got me, I guess, back on the straight and narrow. I found a lot of motivation there, and I sort of went back into training, because I think before that I had about 4 months where I didn't do anything. And
what year was that?
That was 2014.
Right.
2014,
okay.
2015.
Okay.
And then, I went back with Danielle, and I won a few World Cups and sort of started racing for my French team again, and really, I guess, got back into it. And then, at the end of that, I sort of made the decision that Sean was no longer coaching with cycling anymore. He was back in Australia, but he was working for the QAS, I think, at the time, or the AIS, in a non-coaching role. And I sort of spoke to him and asked him if he'd consider coaching me again, because I guess had my mind set on the Olympics. And he was someone that I'd done well with in the past, and as a coach just had so much respect for, and, was someone that I guess he was almost one of the only people that could have told me anything and I'd believe it. I just had a lot of faith and trust, and he was a little bit hesitant at the start because he'd never done, I guess, like remote coaching, but he was like, having coached in the past and, knowing your personality and how you work and everything else, like, let's do it sort of thing.
I mean, and he's also just come off working with one of the most successful cycling teams in the world. So, I mean, he's just riddled with knowledge.
Yeah, and he really did. Like he'd learned, like he'd evolved. Tenfold even on when he'd left triathlon with what he'd learned in cycling. And that obviously helped as well in terms of my confidence. And although I didn't have a squad, knowing that I had him in my corner, it didn't really affect me too much, because I was very much the same thing with the retiring multiple times a year. I was very much, what I wanted in my head was what I went after, and I guess I didn't feel as though I needed people to train with. And I was able to be pretty disciplined when I had him in my corner, and that sort of led up to the Olympics.
Were you back on the Goldie or Brisbane at that point?
I was in Brisbane.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I swam with a swim squad, and had Sean coaching me for riding and running, and he'd put it all together.
Do you think that's key to have a coach-athlete relationship where you can just, who it is, you're comfortable? Do you think that really helped you a lot more than anything? Or do you think it was more
just
the training?
Just being with someone that you're forced to be with, essentially.
Do you think the training was special, or do you think the coach relationship was the thing that was?
That's a good question. I mean, certainly there's a mixture of both, right?
Obviously you have to put in the work.
But at the same time, I think no matter how good a program is, if you can't buy into it, it's like rehab or something like that. If you can't 100% buy into it, you can have the best program in the world and it's not going to work. and then vice versa. I think you can have a program that's not necessarily, perfectly optimized to you, but I think if you 100% buy into it and do everything, you're still going to give yourself a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
And I think with Sean, I kind of had the buy-in side of it. And he knew me really well, like thinking, back to Training Peaks and stuff. Like he could tell when I wasn't mentally there or whatever else, and he would literally put in, go to the beach, have the day off.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
he'd have other days where, it'd be like, I don't care how you feel, like we just got to get this done today. I think because I had such a mutual respect in that way, that I knew that he understood me, that when I sort of got the responses from him that I wasn't looking for, it just never bothered me. I was still able to go, okay, that's what he said. Let's do it. Yeah. Certainly a mixture, but I think you have to have the coach athlete relationship, and it's a bit off tongue, but I think Hauser and Dan are a perfect example of that. They're almost best mates. Yeah. And it's obviously working well for them.
I say that to anybody who questions Hauser and any coaching environment. I think it was around the Joel Filiol time when he didn't want to. He was like one of the only guys that just said, "I'm not going to Joel," even though it's meant to be the highest training squad in Australia. And I kind of said that. It was like, nobody knows Hauser better than Dan.
Yeah.
Like their coach athlete relationship, and even just their friendship, is like Dan knows exactly what to do with Hauser.
Yeah.
And how to get him to race at his best.
Yeah, optimally.
Like,
you gotta know the character. There's more than just training performance. I guess it's outside stresses and all that add up to being good.
Putting Hauser in a high stress environment might not be the best thing for him. Yeah. So having someone like Dan who understands that, you're right. It's more than just who you are as an athlete to who you are as a person.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like, anyone can whiteboard coach. You can put the best sessions up there, but if you can't coach a personality, it's no different, with whether you yell at an athlete to get the best out of them. Yeah. And for some athletes that works, and for another athlete that'll just shut them off completely, and you'll get the complete opposite result. So you definitely have to know who you're dealing with and have that level of respect. No,
that's cool that you had that. That's cool. So how was that leading into Rio? So like obviously like you said, like that was probably, as far as achievements on paper, the big one. Because I think I remember watching. I'm not sure if it was the year or if it was one of the races that added up to you making the team, but that Gold Coast World Series where you went off the front on the bike. Because I remember I somehow snuck into the camera area, and this is when I was going through my photography. My photography.
Did you have bleach tips at that time?
Probably. I remember following Kai Wilde around like a lost dog, because he was the cool kid back in the days. I saved up.
Still is cool.
Oh yeah, he is. Saved up all my pennies to get a camera, and I remember watching you come around the corner, and you had this insane breakaway, and I'm pretty sure we looked at it. I think you got 5th in that race.
Yeah, we had that here. We had a little stalk of the world try, and it was a 5th. Was the year before, the year of the Olympics?
Yeah. So was that kind of in the lead up? Sort of to Rio, and is that was part of? I mean, like we said, you were a phenomenal cyclist. Was that kind of your strategy behind? Like trying to get onto the team in that way, or how did that process go in terms of getting to Rio?
Yeah, I think the year before, so I'd had another hiatus, and had to I guess like prove myself again. Yeah. So I was still categorized, but I was like tentatively categorized. Which I mean, fair enough. Yeah. I probably would have kicked me off. But yeah, I think I got told I had to podium at a World Cup. If I wanted a chance to get a World Series start the next year. Yep. And I think there was 2 World Cups left of the year. And I can't remember which one it was.
We had you down as Chengdu. You won in 2015.
Yeah, okay. So that was actually the year of. Yeah, so I got told I had to podium at a World Cup if I wanted a World Series start, which I obviously needed that to make the Olympics. So I went to Chengdu.
Oh, that's pressure.
And I won that, which was obviously a good start to the year.
Yeah.
And then I think we went to and then basically there was, I think Aaron had been pre-selected off.
Yeah, he got an auto. Yeah, he got an auto selection.
So there was basically just myself, Bailey, Jake, and I think like that was the year Courtney sort of had to come back to try and make.
He wanted. I remember hearing about that. He wanted his newborn, or like he wanted to be around.
Yeah.
He wanted to make an Olympics with his child.
Yeah. So he had to come back. So it was sort of us, and there was no. It was basically just that series to prove yourself. So after Chengdu, I think like we went to Abu Dhabi, which was the first one of the year, and I think I came 12th or something. And then the Gold Coast was the next one, which was first Australian in the top 10 or top 8. Sorry, was auto. And I finished 5th, but then Bailey finished 4th.
Yeah, I just saw.
Yeah,
4th.
You're so pissed off.
So that was and it was like I guess a bittersweet because it was like it was my best World Series to date. And I think I ran really quite well there for me because we went on to, like, I think, as you said, like we had there was a breakaway, but we got caught. So we all went on to the run together. So it was Jake and Bailey and Courtney and obviously Aaron and the rest of the field as well. But, you know, at that point, there's kind of races within races when it comes to Olympic selection. So, yeah, I guess it was bittersweet. It was my best World Series race and I had auto, but then in terms of the top 8, but I wasn't the first Australian with Bailey.
Stuff when it's one of your mates too.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, like
you're happy for him, but you're pissed off that they nipped you.
Absolutely. Right. But at the same time, it was one of those ones like it just gave me so much confidence. I think the year before, I don't even think I got a top 20 in a World Series, and then I had my hiatus and whatever else. So I think from winning Chengdu and then Abu Dhabi the 13th, Gold Coast the 5th, I was like, okay, like whatever we're doing here is working and we're going well. And then there was the last race, which was Yokohama. And I can't remember what Jake came in Abu Dhabi, but I obviously beat him on the Gold Coast. But then Yokohama, Jake came, I think, 8th, and I might have been like 10th or 12th or something.
Yeah, okay.
And
it came down to the wire between you two, didn't it?
Yeah.
I remember like there was that sort of debate, who should it have been, sort of thing. Like Bailey was obviously doing pretty well at the time.
Yeah, and he got his auto then at Gold Coast, so he kind of took himself out of it for so then it was basically just between Jake and I. And then after Yokohama, I think that was the last World Series race before they were going to name the team.
Was that like a real anxious wait for you? Like, how was that?
Yeah, for sure. I think, I mean, it was one of those things still, like, you know, as much as I had time off and wanted to do other things and came back to it, like the common thing was I still always came back to it and I still loved it. And it was something that I'd always kind of wanted. And in my head, I always kind of said I wanted to make the games and then go to long course. And that was my dream sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah, the wait obviously was. And I think Justin Drew, because they obviously make the phone call and call you to tell you whether you've made it or not made it, which, you know, I'd been on both ends of those calls before. So you kind of know what they feel like. And then, I think the first time he called, I was actually asleep. And then the second time he called, I actually let it ring out because it was on my bedside table and I just stared at it and I was like,
I can't.
This is going to make my day or it's going to break my day.
Yeah.
And it
anxiety.
Yeah, the calls.
I'm training or I'm on a hiatus.
Yeah, or I'm done for good.
A permanent hiatus. But and then obviously got the news and like, you know, they don't really give you much. Like they don't. It's a pretty 10, 15-second phone call. And then I called Sean after that, and he was obviously really happy for me and whatnot. And I actually got a message from Jake. I couldn't remember if it was the day of or the next day, and he basically just said, "Congratulations!" Fuck and fuck you. But no, he basically just said congratulations and how happy he was for me and
nice,
well earned and all the rest of it. And I'd never had a huge amount to do with Jake because he was again kind of that younger era that was, you know, he hadn't become, I guess, the complete Jake Birtwistle that he then went in to become. But I had so much respect for him when he sent me that because, you know,
it's not an easy thing to do.
Nah, knowing the emotions. And it's one of those things too, right? Like you don't pick yourself. So it's never another athlete's fault. But, you know, it's still obviously, a dream of his or anyone else's. So
sometimes it is hard to take the emotion out of like trying to realize that you are being pinned up against each other, but it's not the other person's fault. At the end of the day.
Yeah, the same way if he got picked, you know, he didn't pick himself. So that's someone else's thing. So, and that was kind of the start of the next, I guess, part of the Olympic campaign. Yeah.
How were the obviously we'll skip the whole lead up, but the experience of being in a games.
Yeah, it was Rio.
Rio was
the favelas right behind you. Was that where it was a big controversy and everything was getting built and like in Brazil or whatever, and you know, like stuff was crumbling down. Or
I remember hearing about.
Oh no, they had the favelas out the back, but then they're building multi-million-dollar stadiums. And
I remember hearing about all the robberies. I just remember everyone was getting robbed. All the athletes were getting robbed, like held at knife point and stuff like that. I was it sounded horrible, but then it also looked amazing. So
Yeah.
bittersweet there.
Yeah, I think like a lot of games, right? There's two sides to there's the people that love it,
Yeah.
and there's the people that
hate
don't.
it,
And obviously, in a country like that has such a disparity,
Mm.
and it's funny because years later, I ended up living here on the Gold Coast with a guy who was in the Brazilian hockey team, and they were training there for about 6 months earlier, and some of the background stuff that he was sort of telling me was pretty eye-opening. But again,
Yeah.
you're so oblivious to it, right? Like you just turn up to this
Yeah.
place and it's set the way it is, and then
Starry-eyed.
you get on the plane and leave 2 weeks later, and you kind of disregard it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was a really cool place, very different. Like I remember going out pre-race ride, and you'd have a armored car with you with a guy on the top holding the machine gun.
Jesus.
But it's all, I say overkill, but
Yeah.
obviously there's reasons why they believe they need to do certain things. But
Yeah.
my experience was fine. I never once felt in danger or anything like that. Like it was, we came in quite late. We all flew in from Spain, the three of us.
Yeah. Okay.
Royal, Bailey, and myself. And we got there, I think, in like the second week. So most of the sports had finished.
Oh, was it a second week?
Right.
We were last week. We were 4 days before the closing ceremony.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's funny how it completely
it's
flips every game
sweet.
almost. I think all the ones I've recently, I think they're
Tokyo and Paris were
first few days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we weren't even there. Like we stayed in Spain right up until the first. Yeah, I think we literally got in end of week 2.
Yeah, right.
So it's kind of a mixed bag. Like you're walking in and there's half the people walking around hungover. There was water polo players in the gardens when we were walking in from the night before, and we're walking in with our suitcases all fresh,
trying to get ready,
nervous, and
ready for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But we only stayed in the village for the first, I can't remember now, maybe 2 nights. And then we went to Copacabana because it was about 45, 50 minutes away. So it was just us and I think open water swimmers and beach volleyball and a couple of sports that were based out there. And then after the event, went back to the village
How were the, I guess, nerves, excitement like around like that? Because obviously there's no stage like the Olympics. Like it's the we've said it multiple times. It's the event that stops the world. All our eyes are on that. How was that in terms of pressure from back home or from yourself, or like how did you feel going into a race day?
I think it was probably more, I mean, I guess a hybrid of excitement and nerves for sure. Probably didn't feel super nervous until almost the day of. Like I think there was a lot of excitement. There was just a lot going on, to be honest. And and having gone now, I can certainly see the value or the advantage that you would have in going to a second games.
Yeah, okay.
Because like we'd get told, and everyone always talks about it. You just gotta, disregard all the hype and the whatever else, and just I guess zone in on what it is. But when you're there for the first time, and I was 24, I think I was, and then Bailey and Royal are only a year older, so it's it's hard. You say that, but then as a 24-year-old, you go in. It's almost like you forget.
Like we're 23, 24 now. There's no way. I'll be going in there wanting to do everything. Like talk to everyone, like every camera that's on me. Like,
that doesn't sound like you.
Yeah, I know. Give me the mic.
But yeah, I think a bit of a mixture. I ended up getting sick though about 2 days before the games, and then so I think that, and I'd had a history of being sick all the time. Like I used to get sick every time I'd catch a plane or anything. Like I was bad.
Before the masks came in.
Yeah, before that was normalized. But yeah, so that I think threw a bit of a, probably more mentally than anything.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at the same time, like looking back, I'm pretty lucky because if the race was probably 3 or 4 days later, like I probably wouldn't have been able to race. But in saying that, I'm also under no illusion that, it's a hyper substrata of people that go to an Olympics and go, I just had the race that I wanted type of thing. You got 60 people and 3 medals and there's no prize money. There's no top 10. There's no one cares about any of that. So the percentage of people that go there and have the desired outcome that they want is so small. So, and I say I'm battling, I was sick, but then, however many other people standing on the start line, nursing an injury because they push themselves to the limit. Other people that are sick that you don't, everyone's got their thing. So it's, it's having that realization too that it's not just you.
I think Alex did listening to one of his podcasts, Alex Yee, after Tokyo, I think it was, and he said when he crossed the line, he was obviously second, and he was elated at that, and you had you know, Blumenfeld there like in tears because he just won the gold medal. Hayden Wilde first bronze medal, and it was like it was very much a celebration. But then 4th, 5th, 6th, and then it very quickly turns into devastation. Like very quickly, like because like you said, 60 people, 3 medals. So after the first sort of 3, 4, 5, very quickly turns into disappointment because 6th, 7th, 8th are just as like they're good enough to be on the podium as well, but it just might not have been their day. So it's almost like the odds of you being in that little category of being elated at the end of the race it's super rare, and it's hard to then switch to I should just I at the end of the day I'm an Olympian. I'm racing here. Like not a lot of people get to do that, but it's hard to think about that.
Is it because it's obviously just so prestigious to get one of those medals? Like, I guess it can change your life forever, and that's why it's so much pressure. And I guess everyone goes in there thinking, I can get an Olympic medal. You're obviously good enough to be there. I can get a medal. Surely, like, if that isn't it, well, then it's like, well, that's all the focus was a medel.
Anything
like,
other than that's a failure.
Yeah, it's kind of like, this is a bit crappy or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, you know, of course there's certain outcomes that people would be happy with depending on, you know, I think it's different too, and it's almost probably naive of me to say that because not everyone's from this country that's well funded and you have all this, you know, there's people that are also, their journey to get there is probably, you know, or, you know, there's so many stories. You look at Eric the Eel and these, you know, there's so many different people from all sorts of walks of life. Like you only got to walk through the village to see, you know, they call it the freak show. Like you get people that are 7 foot something and you get something this big and, you know, you get
it's a circus.
Yeah. And everyone's from, you know, so, but yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, you get 3 medals and, you know, there's a level of expectation and 2 and, you know, there's so many different things that weigh into it. But I think too, like, you know, and I was definitely the person that felt sorry for myself for a while. But again, when you have that realization that, you know,
in retrospect,
there's so many other people too that would have had the same stories. Like you're not the only one there that had something that you think didn't go right. And at the end of the day too, if that's your biggest problem, like, you know, who are you to have a problem? Really? Yeah,
really.
So you ended up 24th, which I think is pretty impressive, even just to make it there. I think 24th is great. Were you a bit disappointed after that?
Yeah, I was very down. Yeah,
gutted.
Probably not like instantly. I was, and then it probably subsided pretty quickly because you're just in the village and you're going out and all
you're
the rest
back
of it.
To that. Oh, let's celebrate.
In retrospect, now though, are you, I guess, like
proud of that,
or more proud of, I guess, like being an Olympian and achieving something that most people haven't? Or is it still a bit like,
I'm proud of, I guess, what I did to get there. Like, I'm proud that I was able to, I guess, come back and, you know, like leading up to it again, because I trained by myself, like I felt like I was extremely dedicated.
Yeah.
And not that means I couldn't have joined a group and not had to do that, but it's, you know, I was very proud of, I guess,
the work you
and I think the year earlier where I was, you know, I was coming 40th one race, then I get on a podium somewhere else, then I'd go MIA for 4 months, and like it was just so scattered. So I think, you know, I'm very glad that I stuck at it.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of, I guess, sticking at it and giving it one last proper go and going back with Sean and all the rest of it. Like I wouldn't say I'm proud of the result itself, in terms of like the finishing position, but at the same time, like I just kind of touched on, like, you know, most people probably aren't unless you get a medal or whatnot. So, but yeah, I'm certainly proud of what it is. And it's one of those things I think looking back on now, I'm probably more proud of it now than I was after or
seems
anything
like
else.
It's very much a theme with anyone that goes to the Olympics. They're a little bit disappointed if they're not 1, 2, 3, but then in retrospect, when they're, you know, a couple of years older, they're like, oh, that's a pretty cool achievement.
Yeah, and I think too, like at the time, a lot of the disappointment, like I don't know, speaking for myself, but you can handle the disappointment for yourself, but it's more what you probably feel like you've let other people down on. Yeah. And although no one, you know, everyone is always like, you know, you haven't let anyone down, and they might be right, like that people might not feel like you actually let them down.
It's always in your head.
Yeah, I think that sort of feeling, and, you know, like Sean, like I said, for example, like he wasn't coaching anymore. He had a wife and 2 kids at the time, a wife and 1 kid, you know, and a full-time job back in Australia. And he came over and based in Girona and was able to do whatever he did with his job to keep working while he was away. And that was just for me. And then Ben Cook, who's a guy in Brizzy, who was a runner to sort of turn triathlete. He became a training partner that Tri helped support. So I'd have someone. And then, he came overseas and trained and stuff. So, but it was probably more the feeling of, I guess, letting down Sean, knowing what he'd done and a number of other things. But again, that they obviously say they don't feel like that, and then they probably don't.
Yeah.
But I think it's more getting through that than dealing with it yourself. Like you can deal with it yourself. It's normally what you probably feel like you've done to other people.
Yeah. And how was that? Like, did that sort of carry on? Because, like, I think we've had this conversation before, and it's definitely not an unknown feeling amongst Olympians. I think, like, they talk about it quite a lot. The post-Olympic depression, sort of like that 3 to 6 months almost post the Olympics. It's almost it's an incredible high or sense of achievement, or it's an incredible build-up into this monumental sporting games. Like it's like we say it all the time, it's the pinnacle of sport. So how was that? Like, did that disappointment just carry on for that 3 to 6 months? Like, how did you kind of cope coming back home, coming back into a training environment? Kind of, did you continue racing, or was it another hiatus? Like, was it what were your thoughts?
Surely it was
back?
A big after party at REO.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know about.
Yeah, we had some really good nights in Rio. And that probably didn't help my sickness, because I went from the games back to Tucson in Arizona. And was living with Ben Canute. Basically I was going to be staying there up until I think it was Cozumel World Champs. But as I said earlier, like I got sicker and sicker, and pretty much from when I got there, I don't think I trained for about the 8 weeks I was there until I went home.
Wow.
But it was weird. Like I had it was symptoms at the start, like your normal sort of cold and flu type symptoms. And then it just went into like extreme fatigue. Yeah, like I was actually talking to his housemate just last week, and we're joking about it because they had some stairs in their apartment that went down to a middle level, and then some more stairs down to where the kitchen living room was. And I remember walking down. I woke up one morning, 8 a.m. or whatever it was, walked down, and I just walked down this first flight of stairs, and I was like, oh, I'm so tired. I was going to sit down, and I woke up like 4.5 hours later just to sleep on the stairs, and that was honestly like a good probably 4 to 6 weeks. I was like that. I'd go to the pool while Ben would swim, and I'd sleep for 2 hours. He'd wake me up. We'd leave.
Did you figure out what it was?
No, I did blood tests and stuff over there, and then it started getting too expensive. So I kind of
true American healthcare.
Yeah, and then when I came back to Australia, like I did, I pulled out of Cozumel World Champs. And then I came home and I did blood tests and all the rest of it then. But I was kind of, I guess, past whatever it was. Yeah. But to answer your question, like it was weird. I think because I was just going through that kind of consumed me at the time. Like I wasn't even really thinking too much about anything else. It was probably more when I got back to Australia. Yeah. And I think then you kind of reset back into the reality of what are you doing? What's next? Yeah. Are you training? Like, what are you training for? And I don't remember having a big slump, I guess. Like it was, again, like I said, it wasn't me so much. It was more how I felt that I let other people down. Yeah. So I think I was okay. I was disappointed, of course, but at the same time, like I did feel like I had the realization fairly early on that, I don't really have anything to complain about. Yeah. And I didn't want to get stuck in that sort of cycle because, I think sometimes too, the more you think about things like that, just, you create a bigger problem. Yeah. So I kind of got back into it, and that's kind of when I shifted into non-drafting. Yeah. Because like you said, you wanted to do the short course, make an Olympics, and then from there, go long. Because I do remember making, like, you made a pretty quick switch into the long course scene. Yeah. Probably before even the year ended. Like I feel like you were doing. Yeah, I actually did Western Sydney 70. See, I remember Penrith. Yeah. I remember the old stomping ground. I actually, for some weird reason, were you wearing a red tri-suit? That might be a bit. No, that'd clash. Yeah. Look. I don't know what I had. To be honest, I remember wanting to do one, but I didn't want to do one that soon. But Trek at the time had given me a bike for the games, and I couldn't keep it. And they were like, if you do a half Ironman and podium, you can keep the bike. So I did that, and that was half the reason I sort of forced one quite soon. Yeah, okay. Quite early on.
Let you keep your bike?
Nah.
What?
I had to give it back.
Serious? Yeah. So you don't have your Olympic bike?
Nah.
Oh, really? What would they do with that bike?
I don't They probably
Surely you can get it.
sold it as a demo.
Was it a
but then
nice custom paint job or anything? Or?
Nah, it was, I don't know what, it was a like top of the range Madone or
You
something
still
like
want to
that.
keep the
Yeah,
bike
yeah,
and
I
race on
feel-
the. I'd want to
yeah.
keep everything I race in the Olympics and like have a put it. I mean, I say all this, but like I probably wouldn't do it. Put it in a pool room. Like this is my Olympic corner.
Your shrine.
yeah. Got my shoes there, my goggles, like everything.
Dirty race suit.
Yeah, not washed, obviously.
Nah.
Still got the Rio.
Sewage water.
Sewage
in it.
water.
Oh, that's devastating.
But yeah, so that kind of forced the faster, I guess, turn around to that because I could get a TT bike and I was like, if I podium, I can keep it. That'll set me up then for next year and I'm good to go.
Yeah, cool.
So I did, Western Sydney that year and then, went into halves. And then I moved to the coast and Sean kept coaching me and it became a bit of a letdown, I guess. Like I never loved long course the way I thought I'd love it.
Long course became a letdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not the sport itself, but the way I felt about it. Like I was always that's
Didn't
what
love
I
it like you thought you
envisioned. Yeah. Like I wanted to have this, Kona dream and the rest of it. And once I started, I just never, I don't know what
liking.
Yeah. I think it was.
Had to train more.
Yeah, maybe. Too many hiatus.
Yeah.
No, I think it was just I probably didn't feel the same level of adrenaline or intensity around the whole environment. I think that's something that maybe I didn't realize at the time, but I was drawn to with the short course racing and the excitement factor in that. And when I went to it, it was a little bit like, and I vividly remember thinking, like I was almost annoyed, not annoyed, but that sort of like, I thought I was going to love this so much, and it's not giving me the experience.
Was annoyed at yourself for not loving it.
Yeah.
why aren't you?
Yeah.
Did you kind of like grow up thinking, I know you said you didn't really know too much about triathlon, but did you watch like the long course stuff when you were growing up, and was that why you kind of went, oh yeah, I'll really froth this? But
I think so. Like I was a bit of a Macca fan, and like Ray Lert brothers, the German guys, and and I think it was just that's what they did, and
into budgies.
Yeah. And I mean, like, Macca too, like he's a salesman.
Maybe sell anything.
Yeah, and I think just the way he was within the sport and spoke about the battles and the this and that, I was like, oh, I want to do that. Like that's something that I want to
do.
Work my way towards. Yeah, and then I was no Macca.
Turns out it was harder than what he said.
Yeah,
made it look easy.
No, I mean, going on Macca, I don't know if you've ever read his book before, but like he makes you think like, I could be an Ironman world champion. He's like, God, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like hearing his early days stories, like that's probably one of the coolest books I've ever read.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he's an anomaly in triathlon too, right? Like he kind of, you can probably tell from the whole sponsorships and the way he was, like he was like you said before, there's not huge amounts of personality and a lot of endurance sport. Now, it's probably the style of racing and what it is, so it's what it attracts. But he was obviously the guy that had the personality to match the performance, and he became the aura of Chris McCormack.
No, it's cool. I don't know, like if you've ever had a conversation with Macca around sponsorships and like what he's done in the past and sort of like his idea of it. He's he doesn't do it by the book, and it's pretty cool. Like, I had a chat with him at the start of the year and I was like, wow. Like, it's impressive how there's definitely the norm of what you have to do to get sponsorships and whatnot, how much is like you should be asking for and whatnot. And he just kind of throws all those norm ideologies of how to go about triathlon out the window, and it's like, fuck it, I'm going to do it my way. Like it or not. I don't care.
And I feel like that, it's why so many people were obviously drawn to him, because, he wasn't the palm card type of, you felt actual personality and you could feel there's someone behind it rather than this curated person. But he's definitely a unique character.
There's no nice, perfectly written speech.
Nah.
Like that's not going to offend anyone.
It's just raw and authentic. I think
I
that's the same as anything now, right? Like you look at social media and anything, like it's almost people that are actually themselves are the ones that people get drawn to.
Well, we talk about it all the time. Like on here, like we want
a bit more personality in the
bit
sport.
More personality. Like you see even like people running down the finish chute and they just like take the tape, put it up, put it to the side. It's like, mate, you just fucking won a big race. Show some excitement. Like you got Hauser doing finger guns now. Like Hauser's like,
Hollywood
that's
Hauser.
cool. That's cool.
The LeBron James is coming out of him.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I like that. Like I want to see people shushing the camera. We saw like Cal flipping people off last year. Like we love that stuff. Like,
But it is that thing too, right? Like, love it or hate it, it's the stuff that people will watch.
Yeah.
And
gets
it's no
the views,
different
gets
to,
the
your
eyes,
Kyrgioses or your whatever. Like, you can say what you want about him, but people tune in and watch.
Yeah.
He might be a dick, but
Yeah.
we want to see the car crash.
He's a money-making dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, don't care, cash going in your pocket.
Yeah.
It's like that Noah Lyles, he said something, he's like, you might not like me, but you'll watch me.
Yeah,
It's like,
literally.
fair enough.
Literally. So since your triathlon career, I think, like, and this is another thing that Lleyton and I talk about, is not having your, and like you've said it, not having your, I guess, personality wrapped up in the sport, not having your being solely triathlon. You know, you're not just a triathlete, you're this or whatever your aspirations are post or whatever you're trying to work towards, I guess, during the sport. How was that making, like, when you sort of made up your mind that you were going to retire? How was that going into, like, the next chapter of your life? Like, what was going through your mind there?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. And I guess the whole, you know, in a lot of ways, I'm fortunate that the last year that I did triathlon, I knew that that was going to be my last year.
Yeah.
And when I say fortunate, more so from the way that I felt like I really enjoyed things more than I probably had in the past. I absorbed it, and going to places was like, you know, I'm probably never going to come back to this random little corner of the world, but, you know, I'm loving being here, and, you know, and the performances almost became secondary to it. And that's also how I knew that it was time to move on, because I was always someone that, would have got quite frustrated or angry or whatnot when I didn't race how I wanted. And I sort of realized pretty quickly that once I didn't care, I was like, well, that's a pretty good sign that it's time to move on, because you should care.
When it's your profession.
But so I sort of had that last year where it was probably a more subconscious type of thing, but I was obviously already thinking about, you know, what I'm going to do next year and everything else. And I'd sort of started some stuff with cycling apparel, but with no real vision of this is going to be a business and this is what I want for it and a definitive plan. It was more just something that I was into.
Tinkering with.
Kind of. And then it kind of, I actually had a friend, and I was visiting him in hospital. He just had back surgery after a skiing accident. And he is quite a successful business owner and has done a lot in that sort of space, and he actually bought the domains for me.
Oh, nice.
I went to the toilet, and he was always asking about, like, you know, what are you going to do, and why don't you just do it, and blah blah blah. And I was, you know, come up with reasons like, oh, I probably will, or I'm not sure,
Bit
or
busy, don't know how to start.
It's always the successful businessmen that are like, well, why don't you just do it?
Just
do it. Well, why
and
not?
he was always like, hey, there'll never be a right time, just do it. Like, what are you doing, fish? Just do it. Like, and he was good, because thinking back, like, he was pretty, you know, he wouldn't, just because he was your mate, he wouldn't just take it for whatever you say. Like, he was pretty, but anyway, he asked my wallet for some reason. I can't even remember why. And then I went to the toilet, came back, and he's like, I just bought you 5 domains. And he's like, so now you just need to start. He's like, you just need that first step, and now you've got it. Don't waste your money. Oh. And I was like, did you just put them on my card? And he's like, yeah. And they were, you know, $9 each or whatever.
You can get some cheap ones.
But that really was it. Like, that was a thing of like, okay, well, that's the first step. And I think too, it's probably, you know, it's like anything. When you're getting into something, you don't know everything. But as long as you know the next thing to do, you do that. And then you get to that point, and then it's, do I now know the next thing, or do I need to get someone that does know the next thing? And you just keep going. And that was kind of what really kicked it off for me. And then I was like, you know, this is what I want to do. And, you know, I never really saw it as a risk, because doing triathlon was equal.
Felt like that was risky.
It's in a risk, it's not like you're in this secure, high financially rewarding sport or anything else. So it didn't feel any more or less of a risk than doing that. And I, you know, and I'd always liked doing my own thing, I guess. And that was something that I sort of became passionate about, and was fortunate to have a few friends in e-com sort of space that had done well. And I think that probably subconsciously gave me a bit of confidence too.
What I think is, and I remember from one of our sort of first conversations when I think we were driving up to do a photo shoot for Celia, and I was kind of like, oh yeah, like this will sell, especially like when you attach your name to it and it's, you know, Ryan Fisher's cycling brand. And I remember you were like, no, I don't want that. Like, I don't want to attach my name to this. Like, I don't want it to be like my brand. I think I really almost respected that you want, you're like, oh, and I want this to sell because it's a good product, because it's a good brand, not just because it's my brand, sort of thing. So like, was that always your mindset going into it? Like,
and it was probably half from the reason that you just said, and then half just from, I don't know, I guess I've always had this kind of, don't know what you'd call it.
Is it like an imposter syndrome?
Yeah, I just didn't want to. I was like, it's not going to change anything. No one's going to buy it because it's me. Like,
I mean,
and
that's half the reason I started. That's half the reason I said
yeah,
yes.
but that's just how.
Brian Fisher asked me to do this. Like, this is sick.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's just how I've always felt about it. So, and I never wanted to, I guess, publicly, I guess just attach my name to it for whatever reason. I've never thought too in depth about as to why. But yeah, a big part of it is also wanting people to like it for the product that it is, or for the style that it is, and for something bigger. And I think to make something lasting, like, it needs to be bigger than a person.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That might be a stepping stone for, I guess a launch pad, if you want to call it that. But yeah, that's certainly long term. Like, I want it to be. I don't want anyone to be the brand, or anything. Like, I want it to be something that's bigger than that. And again, like, have some pretty big aspirations for the brand and a pretty clear vision for the next, I guess, 5 years of what we want to do.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, a pretty internally spoken thing, and not something that we'd really put out there, I guess. But there's some.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah.
Like,
so go on, tell us all now.
Yeah, and I think too, it's kind of like triathlon or anything, right? Like, I think it's very much like it's not easy. So it's like, if you're going to do it, you may as well just go all in and have big dreams. And again, I feel fortunate to probably to know some people, or have been introduced to people that have done things really cool with their own brands. And I think that's probably given me confidence, because you realize, the same as athletes or anyone, like, they're no different to you. And, you don't have to know it all. You don't have to be the smartest person, but if you can, bring the right people in and respect people, and, people want to be part of something as well. So if you can create that for them, well, they're going to, give that back.
Yeah, cool. I mean, how long has it Salih been around?
I mean, I would say properly like 2 years. Like, before that, like, we had stuff, but again, I was pretty naive. It was more like just made stuff and made a website. Like, there was not much more. And to be honest, like, up until this summer now is when we're kind of really about to scale. So, like, we've never done paid marketing. We've never, other than Hauser, had ambassadors or anything like that. And I think we're just, in the last month, we'll be working with about 16 people in Vic alone.
Yeah, wow.
And we've got a full-time content house and production house coming on board that's going to do all our social media full-time, video, photography, everything, and do all our A/B testing, and start paid marketing. And they're based in Melbourne as well. I mean,
you say, like, you're only really just getting started. You've had some pretty big names in the kits that you're wearing. Like, we were talking about it before. I mean, like, obviously other than myself, like, like, to think I was the biggest. I mean, I don't know how you. I mean, you got a big one pretty early on too.
Lockie Jones in a cycle.
Yeah. Lockie Jones in Salih. I kind of thought, fuck, I don't know how you're going to top this, man. But
take a loan out.
Yeah. But yeah, you got Matty Hauser, world number one, riding around in the kit. He's got his own kits. The one we spoke about before
is the helicopter shoot. I saw that pop up on my feed, and a lot of people said it was fake. It looked fake. It was really impressive, but it was flying real low, and he was just riding in front of it.
I think I even
How
messaged
did
you.
you get that done?
I was like, mate, that is insane. Surely that's AI.
For as you've just said, we've only started up the last 2 years. To get a helicopter and Matt Hauser in the one shoot, I think you're going all right.
Yeah. That was the first AI comment, I read it and I was like,
shit.
People are going to think it's AI.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was.
I hate AI now. But looking back at it, it kind of did. And then there's people commenting like, the grass isn't moving and this is fake.
They're trying to really
debunk
really. And then someone else was like, I live in Toowoomba. This is bullshit. That's not true. That's not real. And
where was it? Toowoomba. Did you say it?
Yeah, inland. Yeah, just inland of Toowoomba.
Looked like the cane fields out.
That's what I thought it was.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to do it somewhere more local, but it was to get low flying clearance and all that stuff. And my cousin's a helicopter pilot, and he, because I asked him about it initially, and he's like, and he's a pretty, not rogue, but like pretty. He's like, you could do something like that, and I was like, okay. And I said it to Hauser, and Hauser was like, like, whatever, like, maybe. And I was like, no, we will. And he was like, it'd be pretty cool if we could. And I was like, okay, like, I want to actually get this sorted. I was like, that could be a cool video. And then, I spoke to my cousin, and he linked me up with someone on the Gold Coast, and they were like, mate, like, it's going to be very difficult because it's still Gold Coast is, you know, close proximity to houses and residential and all the rest of it. And then you've got to get low flying clearance and shut down roads within a perimeter and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, this isn't going to, and he was like, oh, you can do it, but it'll cost. And I was like, we don't have the budget for that. Wanting a helicopter is enough for us.
I was gonna say.
And then
renting a helicopter for a day. Jesus.
And then my cousin, put me in touch with this other guy, and he's like, oh, he's actually from the Gold Coast, but he's got a hangar in Toowoomba. And he was like, there's heaps of rural stuff out there. He might be able to do it. And I called this guy and spoke to him, and it was the easiest thing that I've ever had to organise for what it was. This guy was unbelievable. Yeah. And he was ex-Air Force. So he was super, like we asked him at one point, we're like, if you come in behind him, can you put it a little bit on the side? And he was like, mate, I can fly this backwards almost if you want. And we were like, wow. Oh, okay. And he was amazing. Like we didn't need to shut down roads. We just found a quiet one, and he was landing in the middle of the road, and he'd be like, oh, there's a car coming. I'll just take off for a bit. We had walkie-talkies. Yeah.
That's insane.
We had walkie-talkies, and then the end shot, he landed in the cane fields, and we got the shots, and then he was like, oh, I've got to take off or I'll light this place up because the engine's so hot. And then, it was unreal though. It was a really cool experience.
Cool. Yeah. So it was just kind of like off cuff, really. Like, helicopters come in. Yeah, we're here. Sweet, let's do this thing.
And it worked well because it's, you pay for time.
And
it's expensive. So I was like, we're not doing retake after retake. This needs to be.
How's our fucking ride straight?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Look cool, ride straight.
Yeah, pretty much. And the videographer we had, Nick Sturkenberg, who was a guy that Matt put us in touch with, he was unbelievable. Like, he was so detail orientated, and he had every shot that he needed pre-planned and was very meticulous. So he was on the walkie as well, and I was there, and Bree was driving the ute, so I was shooting out of the back of it, and he was shooting out of the back of it, and it felt chaotic in the moment because you can hear that, like, obviously in the video you don't as much, but the chopper was loud. Matt had AirPods in because otherwise he wouldn't be able to hear us talking to him. But we did it in the 2 or 3 takes that we had based on the budget for the time period, and that was the end of it. But it was really cool.
You almost shooting like a stunt movie, like kind of thing,
just
like
for a kit drop.
Yeah.
What's next?
Honestly, I remember seeing that. I was like, I've never seen anything like that.
Skydiving with your bike or something.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, come in a parachute and finish and start riding off.
Lockie will do it. He'll jump out of the plane.
Heights aren't really my thing. I'm might have to.
And then another real cool collab that you did. Well, you rode with Ned Brockman. He's obviously like popping off at the moment.
He's an icon, like not even in Australia.
Icon,
he's an Aussie icon all around the world at this point.
How did that come about? Like, are you somehow just rambling mates with Ned, or
I met him at a mate's party, at a mate's birthday.
This is after a few beers. This ride happened.
No, that was probably 2 years ago.
Drunk promise.
Yeah. No. I met him a mate's 30th in Brisbane. It was funny because where the party was about 30 minutes drive out of the city. And he was staying in the city, and he'd lined it up. He was doing some talks or something there, and he actually ran to the party that night, which was, I don't even know what it would be.
He lives by the brand.
It's probably like 20K or something. And then we'd already left, but apparently he ran home again that night and stuff. And
what a freak.
I knew who he was, obviously. And we were just talking that night, just as you would with anyone. And just had each other then on social media off the back of it. And I can't even remember exactly how it eventuated. I think either he posted a story or I did, and then the comment was made like, oh, we'll have to do a bikepacking trip. And then I was like, oh, would you actually be keen on something like that? And he was like, oh, mate, it's a yes year for me. I'll just say yes to anything if I got the time. And we're like, oh, okay, let's do it.
Let's organise it.
Yeah, let's do something. But mate, it was pretty impressive.
For people who don't know, do you just want to explain what you guys actually did?
Yeah, I mean, we flew into Melbourne, and then stayed a night there. He stayed with a mate. I stayed with a mate, and then met up the next morning and rode from Melbourne up to Byron Bay. I think we did in about 7 days.
And what's the total distance of that?
Good question.
It's probably like 1,400 at least.
It was a couple hundred a day. Oh, it was only just over maybe 250-ish. Some days were bigger, some days were. But we didn't really have a plan at all. Like we would have dinner and map out the ride the next day and just kind of look at a map and be like, where do you reckon we can get to? Yeah. He didn't even have thongs or shorts or anything. We were going into pubs in full cycling.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah. And we were like, we were pretty rural. So you cop some random looks, but it was amazing. People knew him everywhere.
Yeah.
They really did. Like I don't even know if there was one day that we wouldn't have people stopped on the side of the road because they'd be looking at his Strava and know where we're going. And they'd just sit on the side of the road and just wait to get a photo. And
Strava stalkers.
Yeah. One morning we woke up and we went out the front at like 5 or something. There's a guy sitting on his bike. He's like, "Oh, I saw you finished at this motel last night. I thought I'd ride with you the next morning."
Serious?
Yeah. Hey, we had guys bring us pies like randomly down the highway. There was one guy. Or when I say we, they'll bring him, and I was just
yeah.
I was just
we saw you got a mate with you too.
there was a dad at one point with 2 daughters, and he said he'd been waiting there for 2.5 hours on the side of the road, like
Serious?
middle of nowhere, just
my God.
But it was like, to his credit, like any time there would be anyone, Ned would be like, "I will just pull over quickly," and he'd sit there and talk to him.
He'll give him the time.
Yeah, and that was one thing, because like I said, I'd only met him at a party, and speaking, small talk, whatever it is, and he's exactly kind of what you see. Like,
so he's on brand.
Yeah, he's a very genuine, easygoing, gives time to anyone sort of bloke. Yeah.
Do you do anything pretty rare? Like, surely in 7 days riding 250k a day, he's got to do something. Like, we all watched that run across the nation.
Yeah,
he did some rare things.
Yeah, I mean, not real. To be fair, like, it was wild. Like, once we were going to do it, we got a bike sorted from Specialized. He did a bike fit on it and rode 15 minutes, I think, at Centennial Park. And then 2 days later, like the first day, we did like 270k.
And he's not done.
He had
much.
He had a road bike, but I think he said he'd ridden it like 5 years earlier. Like, he had quite literally not. And the first day too, it was funny because I was like, I didn't know what he would be like. I was like, I know he's not going to break because he's done things a lot harder than this. But hey, the first day, like, we got on the highway at one section, he was just going. And I was like, "Fuck, is this guy going to rip my legs off? Like, this is."
I'm meant to be the professional, ex-professional athlete here, and he's dropping me.
He was pretty impressive. But I mean, you can tell by anything that you watch online, like, the way he is pretty infectious. Like, you can't really be in a bad mood. Like, we'd wake up pretty sore and whatever else. And same thing, like, I hadn't really been riding and hadn't had bike fits, so like we were getting cooked knees and the rest of it. But he's just such a positive. Like, I've honestly never really met someone like him in that way. But it kind of pulls you, like, you can't be in a bad mood around someone like that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. But yeah, so that was good fun. And I was actually talking to him yesterday because he's overseas, or he's about to go over. And he was just like, "Oh yeah, like, do another ride or something." He's like, "Yeah, I was thinking maybe leave on like December 8 and come back on just before Christmas and just fly over to WA and just ride back to Bondi." And I was like, but it's all so casual.
Yeah. But it's also like
casual. Like,
mate, you've also run that before. So like,
exactly.
It's also like him riding that. It's like, it's not that you've run that.
Yeah. But I mean, he also did his 24 hours around Centennial where he rode 700 and I don't even know what it was, but like,
it's 10 days on Sydney Olympic Park or something crazy.
Yeah, like, certainly the sort of guy that, if he puts his mind to it, who knows? I mean, he's run good Maras now too, and
I saw he's run like sub 230s.
Yeah,
like he's not just like getting it done now. He's doing it at pace.
It's impressive. Like, and this is a guy. He didn't grow up running.
No,
like, he does. It wasn't that sort of thing. So like, you can. Yeah, he's got an engine, that's for sure.
I think I like that. That's the message he preaches. It's almost like you don't have to be professional to be doing this. Obviously, we all come from that professional environment. We grew up doing it, where he's very much just, if you want to do it, just go do it.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and
I
think
the mindset for it. Jesus.
Yeah, for sure. And just the no excuses type of thing. Like, you can always find something.
Yeah,
anyone can. And I think too, that's the most impressive thing. I think it's just that you can find. Your mind will keep giving you excuses, just which one you choose to go, that's a good enough one to accept.
Yeah.
I'm too young, or I'm too old, or I'm too this or whatever. And it's just like, once you scrap that, it's like, you can do whatever.
Yeah.
Type of
God,
thing.
you have been hanging out with him.
No more sabbaticals, mate. 250k a day.
No, mate, that's awesome. Look, we'll wrap it up there. For anybody, obviously our audience, I'd like to think, is very much triathlon heavy. Go check out Celia. Like Fish just said, like, they got big plans. I've been a big advocate for them from the start. It's the only kit that I wear. So go check out what they're doing. It's just going to get bigger and better. Apparently he's only just getting started, but
I didn't pay you to say that either.
Yeah, I know it's nuts. But no, mate, thanks for your time. Honestly, we've like we said at the start, you're a big inspiration for many people in our age that watched you, be one of the best in the world, not just in Australia, but in the world at the time. So, yeah, mate, I hope you keep kicking goals and maybe riding around Australia
Yeah.
at some point again. We'll see.
Thanks very much for having me, boys. I
Cheers.
appreciate it.
Thanks
Of
for coming
course.
on.
Of course. Alrighty, on to our little final preview. World Triathlon Championship Series way high this weekend.
Yep, over in China, the last one before the big dance in Wollongong.
Feels like we've really just been packing them into this back end of the year.
Yeah.
Like what French Riviera wasn't that long ago, and then
No.
2 weeks it was Calavivari, and then 2 weeks it was now way high, and then
Yeah.
maybe a month. I think it's 4 weeks after this
it's
weekend.
pretty
is
much last
Wollongong
week
World
was
Champs.
bang on 4 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. God, it's getting exciting,
Yeah.
and it's heating up.
It's
heating up. Have you looked at the start list?
Yeah, I've looked at the start list.
Pretty disappointing, if I'm being honest. It's not what I expected.
But it makes sense to...
Do you think?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Because they've raced their European season. They've done that. And then, do they really... Like, China's not the greatest place to go race. Like, it's not optimal to go race. Because you have to get in there. It's foreign to most people. Most of the time, you're just eating rice for about 5 days straight before.
And I'm not too sure about last year. Maybe if there was a risk of sickness, or like if athletes did get sick last year, like it is a risk going to China.
Yeah. But, and I also believe with a month out of Wollongong, they've done their racing. Let's say if they raced French Riviera, that was their last one. That's 6 weeks before Wollongong. Get a good block in, and we won't be firing for Wollongong. Most people have their points. Like you see in the men's field, there aren't the top 3 ranked.
Yeah, obviously we knew there was not going to be any Hauser, but for me, I did think a Miguel Hidalgo and Vasco Velarza could have gone there, and especially for a Miguel, I thought if Miguel got another win, then that's 2 wins and a silver, and he's very, very close to Hauser there. But maybe he's kind of going...
I'm backing myself at World Champs.
I'm backing myself at World Champs. Like, I think what his next best result would be, I think it's still a gold, silver, and a bronze. Maybe I think are his best 3. So that's obviously still not a terrible score.
No.
It's double points in the final.
Yeah,
So
so it's open.
We haven't done the maths. We haven't done the maths by any means. But maybe if he was to get a win and Hauser was a second, maybe that'll close it out. Or
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
yeah, we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have.
We'll have to crunch the numbers.
I reckon we sit down before Wollongong and we just do a huge spreadsheet on if this person comes here, where are they going to, and we'll try to decipher that. But it's right now it's a little bit too much for our little brains.
But they've changed the course in Way High this year.
Disappointed with
that.
that.
Not hilly and hard like it was. I feel as if most of the courses this year have been pretty flat and fast, and and they've changed things up. They changed up Abu Dhabi, which I mean was really flat and fast before.
Yeah,
but
it's even flatter and faster.
Yeah, exactly right. I feel as if some of those not old-fashioned, but like those real tough courses have kind of lent away.
You're literally
from the sport.
those ones where it's like you're literally riding through the middle of Old Town, France or Spain or wherever, Germany.
Really cool
like
ones.
the way there's literally the apartment blocks are right next to you. I remember my under 23 world champs in Pontevedra.
Yeah,
We're literally running up with people eating in restaurants. Like I could grab a glass of wine if I wanted. Like they were literally running down the middle of Old Town, and I thought this is cool.
Cool.
There's people screaming "Go Jones" that have
Don't
no
know.
idea who I am.
Go
But it's
Jones.
it's Go Jones, hey Australia, oi, oi, oi. Like that's the sort of stuff you want, because they just have a passion for the sport.
Yeah.
Where now it kind of does feel like they're shifting us out into like the
remote parts.
Yeah,
It's
get
like
out there,
flat, fast highway kind of racing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a lot of Chinese races.
I mean,
fast
look,
on a motorway.
I think in China that you're getting exactly what you'll get anywhere.
Yeah.
Really there, unless you're in the middle of Beijing. Like that's
true.
probably the only time.
Yeah.
Regardless, we'll turn our attention to that. The women are a little bit better. You've still got you've got your Beth Potter, you've got your Lisa Tersh,
Taylor Spivey,
Bianca Sarah. So bad with the names. Serigny.
Yeah, the Italian.
Freak swimmer. She's a phenomenal swimmer.
Yeah, the women's is still a pretty solid field. Like
Sean
I
Rainsley.
believe.
So there's still, I would say that's probably going to be a bit more of an exciting race with those top end athletes. Attending there. So it's again, I still think maybe a Cassandra Bowe Grant. I don't know what she's doing in terms of if she's fighting for an overall world championship.
I think she might have 2 wins.
I mean,
She has one at least.
Yeah. Leonie Perriot, I believe, is on top of the World Championship ladder at the moment. So, yeah, again, for me, still interesting that some of the big names opted out. And like, there's only 28 women on the start list and I think 39 men.
Oh, so actually, Cassandra Bowe-Grant is winning the World Championship so far. She nearly has a perfect score. So I believe she has 2 firsts and a second. She has 2,925 points. Beth Potter. This could be the big changer for Beth Potter this week. She could get another win and actually join up with Cassandra Bowe-Grant. And then John Lahair, she isn't racing either.
My goodness, we missed a lot of people there.
Yeah.
So, okay. Wow, Beth could... This could be another Cassandra Bowe-Grant, Beth Potter battle for the World Championship.
Which is actually quite exciting.
That will be
just as exciting as the men's, really.
Again, we don't know what people's plans are. I mean, I don't see why Cassandra wouldn't come to Wollongong.
Is she not coming?
I don't know.
Surely she'll come wrap up a World Series.
I mean, if you're sitting in a gold medal position right there, I don't understand why not. But again, like this being a post-Olympic year, she might be tired. She might not want to do it for whatever reason. She might choose not to. So obviously, I hope that doesn't happen because she's a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
But
let's into our picks.
Let's get into our picks. Who have you gone with?
We'll start off with the women.
Yep.
I'm going Beth Potter.
Yep.
She's got to be the fastest runner there.
Yep.
I've gone Taylor Spivey off the back of her second the other day. Okay. I know it's not really a strength course, but I feel as if the bike can still break away with the women. I feel as if it can stay away. And then I'll have Lisa Tersch rounding out the podium.
Okay.
She may just sit on the back.
Yeah.
like
apparently she usually does. Yeah, apparently people don't really like her too much. I've got kind of similar. I've got Beth Potter in first, Lisa Tersch in second, and I've gone. We know how I feel about this, but I've gone the Russian.
Ooh.
Diana Isakova.
Okay.
In third, I just think maybe she'll have a bit of extra aid or something to get to the finish line.
Okay. Okay. Let's get into the men. Lockie, finish us off. Go on.
Got David Cantero. I just think looking at the course, looking at the field,
runner's race.
It's a runner's race. I don't see it not. I mean, you're gonna have Henry Graff, Max Stapley, some of those boys pushing the front, but I don't know. I just think it will. There has to be one race where it comes together, and I think this is the race. So you got David Cantero coming first, Morgan Pearson coming second, and I've got our boy Lukey Willian coming in third.
Nice. Okay, I've got John Reed, the American. I feel as if he's coming into a bit of form.
Yeah, he's done some good
racing. I feel as if this is probably the one where he can get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Luke Willian because I want to see Luke on a podium.
Yep.
He's got a fourth this year in the Italian race. And then I've got Roberto Sanchez.
Yep.
He's a rapid runner.
Rapid runner. Little
rapid
Spaniard.
Spaniard. Yep. So that's our podium picks for
It's exciting. Like you said, it's exciting to see how the points play out leading into Wollongong. That's essentially what this is. This is going to be the last final, especially in the women with Beth Potter and Lisa Tersch. You know, they're definitely in that upper end of the points where, you know, I like the picks that we got here, the David Canteros, the Morgans, the Williams, and, you know, you've got Roberto and John. Like, they're not necessarily fighting for top positions at the moment, but you know, I saw Henry Graff is in fifth and he's racing this weekend. So, you know, he could do something sneaky in this last part.
Yeah. Lisa Tersch, if she gets a win here, she would be up there in the... There's actually 5 of the females that are looking really good for...
Yeah.
You know?
This women's race is going to be a very big deciding factor for going into Wollongong, I believe. So the eyes will definitely probably be on the women's race a little bit more here. So yeah, let's see how that plays out.
The big mover though, Beth Potter. Yeah, if she does anything better than a third, she's catching up.
Yep. Nah, the race to world champions.
If she wins, they're tied. Both Cassandra and Beth going into Wollongong.
God, you couldn't script it any better. You can't script that any better.
What a year to start a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, we're going to wrap it up there. It's been a big episode. It's been a long episode, but I like to think it's definitely one that's worthwhile. Ryan Fisher, he's an absolute legend. Huge thanks again, mate, for coming on and joining us. And, of course, thanks to Official Beer making all this possible. make sure you follow us on the pod. If you've got any questions, if you've got anything you want us to talk about, more than happy to talk about anything. Hit us up at the Unfunded pod. Sorry, I was trying to mix my words there. At the
Unfunded pod
Thank you.
on Instagram or the unfunded pod at gmail.com. If you have an email, I don't know who has access to that email, but
we've got our producer. I think he's got access to it. But again, thank you very much for listening. Sorry, we're obviously very tired right now. We've been in the studio for nearly 2 hours. So we're going to go have some sleep. But thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers. Bye.
Ciao.